Check 1. Syphilis. Syphilis. Check 2. Syphilis. Check 3. Pubes. Pubes. Fuck you.
Son of a bitch!
Quit playing with your dinghy.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Fucker.
I can feel it all the way down in my plum.
You're a fucker.
Here I come to save the day!
It's not my hand. Hi, Sashi.
Wow, wow, wow.
Fuck me, fuck you. Get rid of this. Okay. Oh, palette cam is froze already. That's a good sign. No, you gotta stop playing Animal Crossing and watch stream. You know the rules. Attendance is mandatory. Attendance is mandatory. Boo boo, shoot be, doobie da. Or else you get demerits. Or else you get demerits. Which will affect your acceptance rate into college. God damn, all these fucking things broke off, so now my skull always slides up. I might have to just tape this bullshit. No, for when you go to college again. Putting on a lull me to sleep. Oh, to lull you to sleep, okay. That's too bad, because I don't my stream is very high paced and nobody falls asleep from it. Oh, you're going back, Sashi. You're going back. We have to set up this painting. We got a lot of questions to answer. We have questions that need answering. We have questions that need answering. No. You're telling me you wouldn't do it for 100K? Shut up, Shasta. Shasta, I need this. I need this, Shasta. Hold on, let me go get some duct tape. Okay. I made a huge batch of split pea soup. Cause I was using up all my ham, and I didn't think I had as much as I did left. By the way, thank you for the resub, Maddie. But I had a lot more clearance ham left than I thought. No catnapping, Shasta. Streaming's happening. I had a lot more clearance ham than I thought left, so it ended up turning into a huge batch. Of course. Sashi, easily. You're telling me 100K couldn't support you and somebody else? No, did you just like go to college, to go back to college? Hot, cold? What do you mean hot, cold, Shasta? Do, shoot, boo, 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 boo. In a pot, 9 days old. It probably will get better with a few days. But I think I'm going to freeze some of it too. Peas pork. Basically, that's what it is, Shasta, right? I sauteed the ham, got a little color. Then I added a mirepoix of celery, carrots, and onions, and I added some garlic. Sauteed that in the brown bits. Added a bay leaf. Added some water and some chicken bouillon. And then I added the split peas and let that cook for a bit. Salt, pepper, you know, some basic seasoning, but not too much because the bouillon has salt. And, yeah. Piff. Don't you piff me. Sorry, just making sure this top of the skull doesn't just keep on coming off and aggravating me. Do you include any peas that haven't been divorced? No, it was all... They were all bad, messy divorces. Bad, messy divorces, Dirk Lawson. Claims of infidelity, hidden money... Both of them want the kids, but both are bad parents. Okay. All right, we got this taped. Okay, so let's talk about this. Oh, that's what it's been like all throughout history, Dirk Lawson. Okay, let's talk about this. All right, so we're in the middle of doing a diptych or a triptych. Okay, and I have some ideas. Okay, so we are trying to make the prop setup for the second one of this. My hand doesn't even see it. Okay. I need you to see my hand when it comes into frame. For the second one of this. Okay. The main idea is I want a pervert looking at this scene, right? So imagine that this is hanging on the wall and we have another painting next to it, okay? First question we need to address is what size do we make the painting? Okay. So, do we make it the same size as this one and we just do a full one? Okay, all right, hold on. Let me do a quick setup so I can show you what we're thinking of in a similar aspect ratio. Hold. I'm just gonna put the skeleton head on there, and you know I'm gonna put a mask on him. How you doing, Crystalism? So hold for 1 second while I get this head on there. stable. Very stable indeed. Just don't fall on me, please. Don't fall before I have you restrained. Okay. All right. So, is everybody paying attention? Is everybody sitting down? Paying attention? All right. So, he's a little far off too, but everybody look. Okay. Now that's just with the spotlight. I could do more light over the entire thing. I could also make that spotlight more. Hi, Audinette. No. Sit down. Stop playing Animal Crossing. Maybe I should put the mask on there. Hold on. Let me fix some things. Hold. God damn it.
Wow, wow, wow.
Oh, thank you, Audinette. Thank you. Fucking shitballs. God damn this thing. This head sucks. All right. I know you are. I gotta fix this. Okay. Okay. All right. So now, ignore the crappiness of the mask. I also changed the lighting a little bit. All right. So. I'm very normal. All right, let me fix the, let me fix some stuff so you guys get a better view. Everything is just so unstable here. Good enough. Well, I am doing that too, Shasta. Okay. So now... Okay. So it's very dark. We're far away. Okay. Now, I actually controlled the light pretty well here because that's all you can see, and I just have the spotlight on him. Is that too much light on his face? I can go up closer and we can do like a light from underneath. But we obviously, I think we could do the other father figure. Well, this, like, the idea, right, is like this guy's watching the, you know, hand, right? Okay. Mouse. I don't know how that was possible. So do we want to see legs, or do we just want to see upper body, and do we need to fill this out more? Because we could just do this as like a square painting. It's kind of blah. The mask is like too in focus as well. We already visited the bed gynecologists. So, like, you know, if we're talking about it with regards to this one, right? The idea is, like, do we want... Is this what we want to the left of this? Well, that's what I was thinking. All right, Shasta, in the upper left-hand and right-hand corner, we have these masks kind of, like, very dimly lit. Know what I'm saying? What do we think about that as an idea? I could also paint this one another... I can't paint this one. I could paint this one, though. I could make this another color. I could paint this blue. We got ads. I could paint it white. I could put a beard on it. Let's wait for ads. Do you think I need more light? Do you think I need more light? Like, here, hold on. All right, quick change. Let me adjust the light. Okay. Hi, Monica. Oh, she is? That's awesome. What about that? Is that a better silhouette? That is really working. Is that better or worse, Shasta? And Monica, how are you doing today? Well, I re-clip the back of the thing. You like the you like the excess at the neck? Worse in your opinion? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, we're setting up for the part 2, maybe 3, because I have some additional ideas. All right, let me revert back. Let me also make it facing towards us more too. So it's the diptych for this, or possibly part 2 of the triptych, because I have an idea for a triptych. I feel like it's gonna fall this way. But this is a different viewpoint. Son of a bitch! Okay. So, what about this? I guess I don't like that. Like, it's two-turned, isn't it? Two-turned? Is it better facing a direction or straight at the viewer? Well, this is how I would be viewing it. This is pretty close to how I would be viewing it right now, Maddie, as a reference. Like, my reference is probably, like, raise it a little bit, but, like, kind of like that. You think eyes down the barrel? Let's try that out. We can do that. It's just a lot of work. And the hand painting won't be in light. You know what we could do? I got an idea. Me. I have an idea. I have an idea. I can find it. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Random clicks. That's weird. Well, did they change the hotkeys for this shit? I could have swore it used to. I mean, I've done this 100 times. I just want to crop. Why can't I crop this? So, okay, if this was the right side of the... okay. Now, if this was like... Let's just say they were the same size, okay? They were the same size. And they were right next to each other, okay? Does this work for the demonstration so you guys can constantly see it? So this is from the assumption that the paintings are like the same size, okay? So think of this. So this worked here. Interestingly enough, okay. Okay. So let's say these paintings were the same size. Let me go make a change. I gotta make this body stable is the problem. So the problem I'm facing right now. I'm worried this whole thing is gonna flop over. Yep, fuck. Oh, beans and toast. All right, let me get this. I gotta get this fucking body stable. Wonder. Whole thing just fell. Okay, good start. We're off to a good start, everybody. Hi, Carlos. Head fell off and everything. Off to a great start. There we are. Back to the drawing. I need to make the body stable on the chair. Because like you heard me complaining about it earlier, so I need to tie it down in some capacity. It's like a goddamn Norm Macdonald joke. Okay. Pets' heads are falling off. Yeah. Now it's the pants. Stop trying to fall. Can't even tie this shit because I can't see it. Fuck you. Oh my god. I need like a rubber friction mat. Okay. I think that's stable. Now I'll fix the head. Big problem is the jaw. Well, there's so many things. This skull is a lot worse than Rudy's. As far as like the robustness of it. How it moves around. Just align this, please. Now the jaw's coming off, okay. That's great. Should take the jaw down too. I feel like I'm trying to, there's always something going wrong. This head not staying on. That does seem a lot more stable, except that the head's not actually on there. Well, okay. Jesus Christ. Let's just see where we're at. Hi, Catherine. Can you not, could you not hear me over there when I was complaining? Okay. Shasta, what do you think about this? Has that blocky feel again. He's leaning a little bit more forward. I'm like sweaty now. I don't think the light works with that well, though. I think it's too light. Hi, Pickles. Good. I'm glad you read your contract. I'm glad you read your contract. So think of this as if... Okay. How do we like this lighting? Thought I was gonna catch you. I mean, that would work, Monica. Monica, why don't you get over here so you can pose as a pervert as well? But see, we could also make this painting smaller. Right? So like I said, sounds good, Sashi. Hope it goes well. So like, do we want this to be 24 by 36? Oh, you're a pervert as well, Monica. You think landscape? So here, let's because I was thinking make them smaller. Square suits the blockhead. $24. So only. So here's what I was thinking. Okay. So let's say this was the, like, we are at the equivalent size right now. Yeah, that was with 2 viewers. I don't think I'm going to put Kevin in this one because I was thinking of doing a third one with Kevin in the camera. Even smaller. You get what I'm saying? But so let's say these were right next to each other. And so this one goes down to like a 24 by 18. Which would roughly be like this. And this would be like, so like it would be like this size next to it. Exactly. It was like to try and show the distance, right, Shasta, instead of it being like right up there. But we could make it smaller than that. Yeah, there's that point. Wouldn't it be weird if a triptych was each painting different? Well, that's, you know, that's the thing, right? At Monica, it's like it's really to show like distance, like the voyeurism aspect, what was part of the original idea of this, right? You can't see the outline. I wonder if can I show an outline on this? Can I show an outline? Is it properties? No. Is it a filter? I don't think so. And I think we still have room to make it a square as well. I don't think landscape would work well, personally, Yambari. But a square back to a rectangle could be interesting as well. I do have 24 by 24s. I wish you could see the actual, like, kind of like the size of it relative. You agree with no Kevin, yeah. Like, I think if we add Kevin, it's going to be in the third. Here, I'll give you an idea of what I'm thinking about adding to this. Right. So, I was thinking, you think they should be the same? Well, here, one second. Let me get this set up, and then we can discuss this more. Please, man. You just need to get the idea. How do I get this to stay? Maybe I go higher than this too. Do I use tape? Boo this man! Don't you boo me. I'm a fartist. I gotta put tape on this. Hi, Sean. Hola. You do agree with that, Monica? It should be same size. Hold on, I need tape. Okay. All right, this was an idea I had for the masks. We might need to figure out a better way to light this. Okay. Do you see? We might need to brighten that up a little bit. Maybe it's contrast I need. Nope. Do you see the mask in the background? Do you see the mask in the background well enough? Okay. It's not for the actual lighting mud. It's more for the just to see the placement. But I'll do some of the light. Hold on. Also, we could do this too. Okay. But this is just to see the mask, right? And I could create like a false body with like a blanket to make it look like there's a body there, like a cloaked body. And I could put one to his right as well, right? That might give you a little bit better too of the size of the canvas. Hi, Odorous. So should we go back to large size too? So here, let's go to roughly same size again. Might need to be a little bit wider. I don't know why I can't size this one. Okay. So, you know, think about these as the same size. It's 24 by 36. Should I get the other one up there too? Should I get the other mask? See you. Have a good night, Monica. Rest well. I think I like the smaller version though. Because we're only going to use like the upper half of the body. We're not going to use the legs in this. I think I like the mask idea though. So let's see the square. Let's keep the same width and let's check out the square like Shasta was talking about. So roughly make it so like cut off there. Like roughly like that. So like right next to each other. Maybe cut off a little bit of this. That's about square. That's a 24. That's roughly a 24 by 24 square, Shasta. Oh, not bad, Carlos. 20 stream streak. Good for you. Oh, Andrea gave me a shout out too. I'm so blessed. Do we have any thoughts on this? I feel like it needs to be smaller, though. I think it gives the difference in voyeurism. It's the issue I have with that mud is like if I want to get the distance in there, like the voyeuristic distance, then I have to have a lot of like blank negative space. Is it negative space is the word? Like there's just gonna be a lot of blank space in there, right? Too symmetric. Well, all right, let me add the other mask then into it. Let me lower the one I got an idea. All right, we got an idea. Hold on. Just need a stand. Oh, I need another tripod. And it's over there. Hold. Hold. Keep holding. I didn't say stop holding. Keep holding. All right, stop holding. You know exactly what, mud. All right. It's not wide enough now. I need to move them. Let me move them in closer. So you get a better view of it. Hold. Hold. All right, stop holding. Yeah. Yeah.
Get your hand off my penis!
Not my hand. It's not my hand, mud. Okay. What do we think of this idea? Better lighting. Don't account for the lighting, okay? We could figure out better lighting, more dramatic lighting. No, you know, you're not. You're not good. I don't know that one, Odorous. Son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch! It's meant to be Stephen Miller, yeah. I could also probably put a Rudy in here. I could paint the mask on the right, by the way. Okay. So you think all right, so go back to like the same size canvas mud. Leave the negative space, push them all towards the upper left. All right, that's Mud's suggestion. You know what I could do? Yeah. I have an idea for it in my head right now, actually. That could be interesting, a little bit more dynamic. I kind of like the idea of like kind of like the drama mask talking. It looks like they're kind of like talking with them. Or maybe like there's an aspect that I'm looking at right now where it's kind of like the a little play on like the devil and angel thing, even though there's like they're both kind of devils or like, you know, at least mischievous. Or one's sad. But let me, all right, I'm going to try and do the idea I have in my head right now regarding, Mud, I'm going to try your idea right now. Okay. So now let me fix the aspect ratio a little bit.
I said good day!
Good day, Richards. Don't account for the lighting yet. That mask might be more in frame, you know, like probably be somewhere close to that. That mask on the right, probably lower and more, a little bit more to the left. What do we think about that? Okay. Do I have another mask? I have the shitty one I was working on. Use that as a placeholder, though. And you know what? I forgot to do one thing in this, too. Sorry, hold on. Back. Hold again.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Okay. Sneeze. Sneeze. Hold on. Okay. Excuse you. Hi, Todd. Okay. So let me give you a better angle. Okay, not that. Maybe we go a little bit further out. Can I zoom back? Yeah, okay. So All right, let's just work on the cropping. 1 second. So, like, that's a little bit more comedic. This one makes me laugh a little bit more. Because it looks like he's, you know, with that extra lean, it's kind of look like he's trying to look around somebody. And from the front, actually, the drama mask doesn't look as, like, sad. But I agree we could change the mask. I could find a better mask. I could theoretically try and hang Rudy up from there. Like, would a floating skull be kind of too weird? Let's see, what do I have? I have Rudy. I have a smaller comedy mask. That's metal, though. I have the rabbit mask. I could try and make one. I have the devil mask, too. But I don't want to use the devil mask for this. What do we think of that diagonal and, like, the higher placement in the, in that lean? Because I was envisioning that diagonal, right? Because I could also, we can look at it more straight on like this. Is that better? For that? Maybe like this. I do like the diagonal. And I can make the, like, the drama mask lower still. The face that would be the drama mask, I could still make that lower. You like those pickles? It does. It does. It definitely does make it read more like they're looking, like it, you know, the voyeurism aspect, right? Let me lower that drama mask a teeny bit and move him more to the left. Ooh, fuck. Fuck. Since you refuse to draw, you should take multiple photos and do comparisons. All right, what about this? In Normie Land. I should probably take pictures right now. Everywhere you go, everywhere you go, it's so hard. Being the home too. Okay. Sean, do you have any comments on this? In YouTube land? Now, things I could add a hat to Stephen Miller or the mask. I could add a clown nose. I could add long nose. What are your comments, Drez? No? Okay. I didn't think it needed any at this point. What about a cloak for a body for the two masks? Yeah, I agree. Well, I think if we put our hat on him, people wouldn't associate him with Stephen Miller at all at this point. But what about putting like a cloak as like a or like, you know, a blanket that kind of looks like a body? Can you post a link to it? Like, could you post in the Discord and then post the link in chat so I could take a look at it? Or direct message me. It is something that can go in the Discord. Everywhere you go. On the one behind, but not the one in front. So you think there's like a benefit to like a floating mask head as well? Let me see if I can put a blanket on. Can I arrange a blanket on this? Now, I think we need to have really dramatic lighting for this. I feel like we should have an upwards light where the background is almost completely black. But I do that a lot. But his shadow does work well. I could put the shadow... Oh, fuck. Everywhere you look, so high. Yeah. I don't mind doing just a random floating head, though. Dress, it seems like they all fucking do. Like, why do none of these brands just use goddamn linseed oil? Just linseed oil. Like, at least Rublev, when they use walnut oil, has a very specific reason. Like, they do it for ultramarine blue red shade. It's so frustrating, Mud. The amount of poppy, safflower, and walnut oil through paints is so fucking ridiculous. Specifically for red shade, since ultramarine blue has problems with wetting with the oil, on the red shade specifically, because it's a difference between green shade and red shade. It has nothing to do with color. It actually has to do with the wetting properties of the pigment. The pigments are slightly different as far as like their mechanical properties, so they use walnut oil for that one for it. Hi, Omizu. Mizu, I was watching you yesterday, bud. I keep on forgetting that you stream. But everybody, Omizu streams on YouTube's. Go subscribe. It's a reason that makes sense to me, Drez. We know for a fact, Mud, that several brands do it for marketing. Like, Drez has heard that from a maker, you know, of at least one brand, right? But what compels artists to be like, oh, I don't want to use linseed oil? Like, does poppy oil just sound better? Is it just about uniqueness? Is it that frequently that artists go, hey, you know, poppy oil must be better? Yeah. Like, I feel like my paints are more unique because I don't use that bullshit. Charvin? I've heard of Charvin. Mod, I don't know if they actually do. Because, like, apparently a lot of the other oils are more expensive than linseed. The only reason I can come up with is that using safflower oil or some other oils making the paint easier. That's the only logical reason I could see for a company to do that. But, like, I don't know that to be true. Like, with their machines, I can't imagine it making it that much more difficult. It was a very unfocused stream for you. That's okay. Well, and they don't list their additives either. And I'm telling you, everybody, you should not use poppy oil, like, at all. But if you were to use poppy oil, or if you insist, only on the last layer of paint. If you use poppy oil on the initial layer that touches the canvas and you're going to paint over it, you are doing something that could severely degrade your painting over time much faster than linseed oil. And then if you mix it with linseed oil, what's the fucking point? There is none. Drez told me that safflower is more expensive. What? I don't actually know, though. Everywhere you go. Yeah. But none of the oils are prohibitively... Like, relative to the pigments, the oil is not a cost. Like, the fact of the matter is the oils are not a significant cost relative to the pigments. To almost any of the pigments. At least in my experience with me buying retail oil, I don't have a single pigment that I use that is cheaper than the oil needed to make it. Not one. Well, I mean, so is walnut and all that shit, but all oil's yellow, by the way, everybody. No, because think about what I would have to buy to use it. I haven't even used, like... The cheapest pigments are the earth pigments, Todd, like yellow ochre and burnt umber. But even those are like $3 a pigment. The oil, none of my paints require more than $1 of oil, except for maybe lamp black. Per tube we're talking about. Per tube. Lamp black is the closest. Don't tell me to not hot paint. I'm checking them right now. Odorous. Oh. I like those masks a lot. What is this from? Oh, what is this from, Odorous? Or is that an AI image? Don't you be hawking AI images to me. I will burn this place to the ground. Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna ruin thousands of paintings. That's the problem, right? I mean, not thousands, probably millions of paintings. Really? You know what I could do is I could possibly make a mask like that. They don't, Mud. I mean, they just straight up don't. Odorous, can you post those in the Discord server? It's just a fucking shame. It's just a fucking shame that, like, they're gonna be the reason why a lot of paintings yellow or fall apart probably within the next, like, 40 years. Not to mention with, like, Mud, you know what else complicates this a lot? Is the prevalence of mixed media. How much people do mixed media shit and how that's gonna fuck with stuff as well. Good one, Richards. I'll take more screenshots tonight and try and get more. So, you know what I could do, Odorous, is I could try and replicate some of those masks to use up front, but okay, so let's get back to this. Oh. So long as it isn't causing paintings to immediately fail, it won't bother for many, and most people don't have enough education. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's just so nihilistic, Mud. It's so capitalistic and nihilistic, and like it's like ultimately just bad for the industry. It's just bad for the industry, you know? Ads are starting, we'll wait. No, Todd. Oil yellow, every single oil yellows over time. Varnishes yellow a lot more quickly and can help delay yellowing of the oil because of surface contamination. So resins yellow like in a matter of decades, right? Or years and like, depending if you smoke, if you're, outside, throws poppy seeds. But resin, like, this is why I talk about varnishing, because varnishing helps stop so many issues. Like, and I've read a lot of papers recently. So for all who don't know, I read research papers. I've probably read 6 in the past couple months, for example. Relative to a bunch of shit. One of the most common research topics I can read. One of the most common research topics in papers right now is the effects of like the environment and time of modern pigments in oil painting. Oh, thank you, Mud. Thank you. Lemon you add to the muffins. Good point. But so one of the most a lot of the subjects of those research papers though are the effects of the environment in the pigments through the drying process. And you know what stops all of it is varnishing. And they're talking about how uncommon it is to varnish your paintings. For Christ's sake, including acrylics, varnish your goddamn paintings. Varnish your goddamn paintings. Oh, really, Shasta? Dear Lord, varnish your paintings. Okay. It was on paper. I haven't read much on substrates. I read one back on the day on nylon when I was considering like switching over to painting on nylon instead of canvas. Don't eat varnished pickles. There's a lot of bad shit in those. Mainly petroleum distillates. Oh no, not. Well, I heard some stuff positive, like on the positive aspect about painting on nylon, but then I heard about I forget what their exact drawbacks were, but then it was like, okay, I'm not gonna even really consider it. Well, Todd, as you know, as this channel goes more and more right wing, we're very into crypto. Oh my god, a hype train! The one gifted sub hype train. Thank you, Mud. He paints on linoleum. I wonder how that would work. Yeah, just because, I mean, that last part doesn't really mean much to me as far as like linoleum being made out of linseed oil. Mud is hype. There we go. Oh my god, Pickles with a 1-bet. Oh my god. This train just got huge. Alright. Let's play around with the canvas size again. So we've had a lot of differing opinions on this. But let's say, so it would like probably come up to like here. And then, so let's say we did it like, this would be like an 18 by 24. 18 by 24 with it. Maybe a little bit. It's probably a little bit smaller than that. Oh my God, the 1-bit. Thank you, Pickles. I don't know. Sean on YouTube said Ruprecht von Kaufmann paints on linoleum, which is made out of linseed oil. I didn't know it was made out of linseed oil, but. So, I know, Mud, you had an opinion on this. But if this was like, you know, what was in the canvas, maybe we do something more on bottom too. We got to figure out lighting as well. Everywhere you go, everywhere you go, it's so hard. I feel my walls come to. That's true. That's true. God, this hype train ain't stopping. We might break the record here, everybody. We might break like the $200,000 hype trains. But do we have any opinions on the size difference now if we use the smaller canvas? Any opinions on that? Sean, do you know if linoleum is sensitive to temperature changes size-wise? I hear a horse come to everywhere you look. Well, I'm trying to source opinions, Pickles, you know. I don't think I would go smaller than an 18 by 24. I don't think I'd go smaller than an 18 by 24. It's a come to. Huh. Interesting. Well, I'm saying, like, just look at it. Like, if this was the approximate size difference, right, on your screen, right, of paintings right next to each other, how does that make you feel about them? How does that make it, like, you know, if we had these two paintings next to each other? I know, Shas. I do know. It's a very heavy surface and it's archival, but like 3 times. But what makes it more archival? Like, does linoleum? I don't know if linoleum degrades over time. I don't know if it has issues with the environment. So these paintings are like a set, right? Yeah, Richards. Yeah. Well, so what I'm thinking about the third one, no, it's not going to be the same as the second. Pickles, the third one was going to be a small, the idea in my head, the third painting was going to be even smaller, like an 18 by 12 of Kevin with a camera in front of him. That might go like below left, like a lower part of this setup we're doing to the bottom left of it, right? So like he's like the paid cameraman, you know. Gotcha. I'll have to look into that, Sean. But no, you don't want the substrate to flex at all, Shasta, because the paint film adheres to it. So like that's why like metals are very good substrates, because they don't naturally like degrade over time unless things are happening to them, and they don't flex as much with regards to temperature fluctuations, right? And they don't droop. Big problem with canvases, they lose tension over time and droop and stress the paint layer, right? So linoleum flexes a lot. The question is, will it droop over time? Will it degrade and droop over time like canvas does, right? So a lot of like conservation techniques are about like reinforcing canvas to stop the drooping. You get what I'm saying? To not stress the paint layer. You think this works then? But like, does he mount the linoleum to something else, right? So if he mounts the linoleum to like a wood board, right? Or like a, not even wood, let's just say a metal board, right? Motherfucker! Does the linoleum itself degrade and droop or have other issues, or is it sensitive to temperature fluctuations, which it does sound like it is? What if you lit them in a cone that kind of points in the direction they are looking? That's not a bad idea. I don't mind that idea, Mud. He does mount into something. All right, let's play around with the light. Now I'm gonna test it out with the spotlight first, but I have another idea. Okay, just cable just wrapped around everything. So the problem with the spotlight is I can't really have it come from the ground upwards, but this is a, you know. You know what I could do? Hold on. Next change. I just covered up part of the spotlight a little bit. So there's like, you know. From his site. What do we think of this lighting? I might have to move that mask higher to avoid the shadow from Stephen Miller. The Stephen Miller cuck shadow. Interesting, Sean. It is gone now. Well, okay, let me try different lighting a little bit. Here, I'm going to try another way of lighting it. 1 second. So here's another test. So this light is coming from more from the bottom. It's not a spotlight anymore. Now, I might be able to get... I could play around with it. That's coming from like below to upwards, you know? You like the temperature? I could have changed the temperature of the spotlight too. Let's move this back a little bit more. Better in the foreground. You know what it kind of reminds me of is that I think it's like a Biggie and... Wasn't it like a Death Row picture of them in like black turtlenecks? Yeah, I kind of get that feeling from it, Sean. Practical is what he doesn't care. I find that attitude to be problematic, unfortunately. Oh, I forgot, Richards, how much of a Stephen Miller supporter you were. I appreciate the use of dates. God, he's only 41? Oh my fucking God. Oh, what an... Like, it's amazing how ghoulish he already looks, and he's only fucking 41. All right. Well, I have way. All right. Hold on, Shasta. I'll test something out to get a shadow. Hold on. Everywhere you look. Everywhere you look. So hard. Let's see how this looks. What about that, Shasta? I don't feel paintings need to last forever. Aging gives them life and character. Yeah, the problem with aging in life, or the aging of a painting, is it's not the... it no longer matches what the artist saw or presented, right? So I don't like the aspect of letting your painting change in a way that you can't necessarily predict. And so then is it actually your vision anymore to a certain extent if it ages too much or degrades, right? And like I said, if you're selling it, I think there's a lot of ethical implications with that attitude. Which I believe that guy, I imagine, is selling it, or, you know. What do we think about that with like a more of a shadow? Like I could... Goddamn. What is... So hard. Yeah. I mean, I don't care about my paintings, what people do with them. But like I said, I just like if I'm selling it or trying to sell it or present it to people, I want it to be as what I envisioned, and I want it to last as long as I could do, like, you know, responsibly or to my resources. Right? Because like if I absolutely wanted them to last as long as possible, I would paint on metals and I would put them in environmentally controlled rooms for the entirety of their existence. I understand that, but the world would be a much worse place, Sean, if these paintings from the Renaissance into the 1800s weren't here. I think there's a lot of value in those things existing, even for as long as they did. Right? We like, I can tell you an artist that was very respected and who did a lot of great work, who, like I said, that Reynolds guy who lost like 90% of his entire catalog because of his experimentation. And people don't even know, you know, people don't know his name. Very few people know his name. Even he's not in a lot of museums. And I don't like that. I think it's worse. I think it's worse for us as a society. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Temporary art has value too. I'm not saying it doesn't, but you know, I'm obviously looking at it through this lens of painting. Shasta, do you have any words for like this new lighting with the shadow? So, it's okay. You don't seem very stoked on it. Where, like, there's no commercial aspect to art, the opposite is true if it costs you money and potentially your freedom. Yeah. A little to the right. I can do that. One moment. You know what we could do too? No, I know what you originally saw. But that was also just him on his own too. But what if we did, like, we now raise this up a little bit. Like that. I'm seeing the light a little bit stronger than you are. Mm-hmm. Let me actually also do this. So there we have a bit of a shadow. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with the graffiti, right? But it can't, you know, I'd say there's a lot more aspects of like societal commentary with regards to like what is considered graffiti. Yeah. Here, Shas, I'm gonna post it in the Discord in general. What it looks like through my camera a bit, because you'll see the shadows a little bit more. If you look in general discussion, Shasta, that's where I'm more at versus what you see. Maybe I should go to the filters again. Hold on. To make up for this. I want to just move my hand at the last second. How is that more contrast? Son of a bitch! I don't know if that helps you see it. Hello, ho! Yeah, I mean, I get that from you, Sean. As we, you know, have documented, like like I said, I think it, the dynamic changes a lot if you're attempting to sell. But once again, I also have said many times, I don't care what people do to my paintings after I've sold it to them. I know that you know, when I've given it to them or sold it to them, it is theirs now to do with what they wish. If they just want to buy my paintings and destroy them, so be it. Now, if they continue to do that, I'd probably wouldn't sell to them anymore, though. Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I think there are definitely forms that are defendable. Sean, I think there are forms of art or painting that are defendable. Not doing art cut, like paint, like, you know, if we're talking about murals, outside stuff that's outside, maybe something on a home wall, things like that. But as of right now, I cannot find a viable or a reasonable defense of somebody painting knowingly, non-archival, and trying to sell art. Like painting, not art, a painting, right? I know some people played around with not using light fast paints. Like I've seen watercolors do this on purpose. There's intent there. I can accept that. But if they're just creating their own paintings, they're aware of archival issues, they decide to sell it, you know, obviously if they tell the people, listen, like this stuff will change over time. Like I guess if there's intent, but once again, if you know you have no intent, I can't find a reasonable defense of that. What about the guy who uses his blood? I mean, that's an intent, I guess. It's just, it's going to be very, very temporary, Amanda. I know, Richards. Damn it. I know Mud and Salt burned theirs. So here's the thing, Sean. There are opera pink is a mixture of a pigment, right? That is, well, a lot of them are made with quinacridone, which are fine. But like, so let's say opera pink was made from a pigment that is not archival. I would say find the replacement. That definitely exists. You'd have to be, you know, you're talking to a pigment pervert, right? So it's like I know that there are significantly good options to use pigment wise instead of that. Yep, definitely Shasta. So like, if you're telling me like I want to use Egyptian blue, or I want to use the same stuff that the masters did, there's intent behind that, right? There's knowing that. But like I said, if you're saying like I want to use Hansa yellow when there are several yellows that are better, but I just want to use Hansa yellow because I like this, like I like this specific color better, I don't find that reasonable. I mean, if I'm an anarchist and I don't believe in the painting authority, I know you don't. I'm not an authority either. I'm philosophizing, right, about ethics, right? I'm philosophizing about the ethics of creating a painting, marketing it and selling it, right? Or not even marketing it, selling it, right? So I am of the opinion, right? Not authority, opinion, that it is not reasonable to know, like, well, one, it's not, I find it unreasonable to not know about your materials if you are trying to sell, first off, right? So I could expand this argument saying, like, I find it unethical to use poppy or walnut oil or safflower oil in most applications. Just as I find it unreasonable to use solvents. In a generality, right? So it's not like I can force people to not do that. Oh, it's you scoffs. Don't you scoff at me, Nordic. But like, of course I can't stop people from doing it. I will constantly advocate, though, that one ought to do these simple practices. Right? Because once again, I'm not doing... People could say that about me not painting on metals or keeping my paintings in an environment, like a very environmentally controlled room, right? So I'm not doing everything that is possible, right? But the fact of the matter is I don't have the resources to reasonably do those things, right? To paint on aluminum or copper, or to find a space that is perfectly environmentally and humidity controlled, right, and doesn't have any sunlight going around, right? I can't reasonably do that with my resources, right? But however, what I can control within my realm of power, right, is like the pigments I use, the oils I use, the practices I do while painting. It's true, Sean. I don't think it is a convo about art as a commodity. Like, because art is also like explicitly linked with culture. Like, just because I sell my painting to somebody doesn't instantly make it a commodity. If it is viewed as a commodity as a society, sure. But that's not what I'm necessarily referencing to, right? Right. I mean, the ethics of selling your artwork, but that doesn't, once again, I could sell you my sock, right? A badly worn sock, okay? And you might personally view it as a commodity, but the entire society doesn't, right? Or society doesn't. It's not like people are going to be willing to buy my sock because I sold it once, right? That's why NFTs aren't like, people don't view largely NFTs as commodities because people don't buy them. There are plenty of people trying to sell those fucking things. Only if you get that foot. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to start selling feet pics, everybody. But like, here's the thing, right? If I'm trying to sell my painting, right? There is ethical implications to doing so, right? Or if somebody wants to buy it and then I'm willing to sell it, right? Oh, I know, Sean. I love talking about this shit. I think this is valuable to talk about. Sean, I love your company here, bud. Okay? I welcome people challenging my viewpoints or my information, because despite never being wrong in my life once, I can be wrong at times. And I need to learn from those mistakes, and I need to be humbled. I need to be humbled with information I don't know at times. Like Nordic comes in here, takes a dump everywhere, makes fun of me. Humble you? I am the single most humble man in the world. No, but the fact of the matter is, like, there are I have to actively resist speculating on information and is presenting it authoritatively. I think we all have to do this, right? And me too, Sean, right? Like, a big pitfall, and I've done this in the past, where I make illogical jumps that I view as logical, present that. I mean, you know, this is a common problem throughout everybody, right? Look at fucking Republicans, and then presenting it authoritatively, and the best way to stop that is by getting humbled ruthlessly. Exactly, Mud, right? But what I don't want to do, like, and this is a commentary on stuff I see all the time, Mud. Why do I hate a vast majority of art YouTube content? Because you get a lot of jabronis on there who hear stuff, parrot stuff, don't look up the proper technical sources, present information authoritatively that is wrong. Simple examples. I've heard people, like, I've heard multiple artists online who don't know what, like, warm and cold temperature means with regards to colors, right? So I've heard people state authoritatively that ultramarine blue is a cold, like, is a cold blue. I've heard this multiple times. I actually think it's like over 4 times from different people, mind you. Right? And that's just empirically false, right? But you say this, and then it just takes other people who now put it in their spank bank, and now they just tell it to everybody else, right? Bad information. Like, when in the beginning, I used to think that phthalos were toxic. I used to think cobalts were toxic. I used to think cadmiums are toxic. Mud, I believe I've said that to you in my early streams. Right? With some minor research from technical resources, it's easy to find out that the amount that you would need to eat is unreasonably large. For all intents and purposes, they are not toxic. Right? But search that shit online and you'll find people on YouTube claiming, like, oh yeah, cadmiums are toxic, or, like, you know, talk about toxic pigments and all this shit. And it hurts the industry. It really has, Mud, but I remember shit like that. They really do, Shasta. That's just it is being human without paying attention to your surroundings. But there is, once again, getting back to ethics, if people view me and I know that they are, if I know that they're going to ask questions about materials, about things, it is a responsibility as the presenter or the voice of authority in this context to present accurate information, or to not say I do, right? If I don't, like, you know, one of the greatest lessons I got in college was just being able to say I don't know. I got praised for saying that one time, and I've never forgotten it. I could tell you the exact story and context of how happy it made me feel that I just did that. Because I didn't want to. But it's, you know, it's, I didn't want to say I didn't know at the time. It's for a freshman year project, engineering project. But, irregardless, I think anybody who deals with an art form that requires materials that vary, I think it is a very, very good idea to pursue information regarding your materials, regardless of what you plan to do in the future with it. It does, Sean. I mean, art in general, right? Art is an extremely humbling thing. I mean, like, you know, I don't get embarrassed with my results. At least now I don't. There are probably times I've been embarrassed about some of my results. You're excellent. Fair enough, Mud. But, you know, that has long been past the concern. But that's why I show you, like, the entire thing, right? I'm not gonna, like... I specifically also show you the beginning of the painting to show you, like, or document it to show, like, my process and how it was created, but I'm not gonna, like, end stream and then, like, go measure and do my drawings. I do wear AI glasses, though, that memorize my reference and put it in my eyes and puts the outline on the canvas, so you guys can't see that. Exactly, right, Shas? Like, here's the thing, right? What you do on the canvas is a whole different thing. Like, what you're actually trying to do and show is right, the non-quantifiable subjective stuff, right? But we can control our pigments. But, like, you know, but think about the value in knowing your pigments and materials and know what you're capable of doing, especially in watercolor, Shasta, right? Shasta, like, you know, granularity. I only know about granularity because of you, right? Or, like, you know, how different pigments dry in the medium, you know? Now, if I was pursuing watercolors as a, you know, higher form outside of just, like, kind of just, like, practice... right? Obviously, that information can help you make a better painting, right? In not knowing it means that anything that happens with it is not part of your intent, right? But this is why I also don't connect with, like, a lot of, like, abstract art, right? Because intent... you get a lot of paintings, at least, like, historically, that probably lacked specific intent resulting to what they were presenting. There was intent in a lot of the stuff that they did, whether you enjoy those or not. But there's, like, specific, like, when I guess what I'm saying is you leave stuff up to randomness, you could say the randomness is the intent. But then again, if you're presenting something on a canvas, you might need to argue that there's more intent, for me at least, for my, you know, specific bars, right? Exactly, Shasta. Exactly. But, like, in oils, right, I gotta, you know, important things to understand is maybe drying times, if you're, the strength of the pigments, right? I boil it down to something simple, or it's like I don't really kind of give a shit about, like, because I'm not glazing, because I'm not, like, doing things like that, those techniques. It's me, it's just mixing the color effectively, understanding if they're transparent or not, right? Or what does being a transparent color actually mean, because I think people struggle with that. But yeah. Okay, so getting back to this. Mud, has your opinion changed on the canvas size? Or do you think it should be just as large again? Because remember, I'm considering doing Kevin with a camera, and I thought that having like big, smaller, smallest as kind of another interesting point of that. Do you have any commentary on that? Or does anybody have any commentary on that? So we had a third painting with this being smaller than the middle one, and it's Kevin, who's my my roommate, with a camera. Think about it, like if this was the actual placement on the wall, think of it being lower than maybe like about the same bottom of the large painting, but smaller. So like, you know, I'm talking like half the size of the middle one even. Like here, I'll show you the placement with my palette. Like imagine if this was like Kevin's painting like here. Kevin with a camera. In the dark, lit from the side as well. You're goddamn right I'm going to do Kevin on camera. It's going to be an exclusive on the Oily Fans, Richards. Paint Kevin holding a camera. Completely agree, Sean. Completely agree. And it's tough. I mean, and I probably should avoid it because, once again, I'm not as informed, but I also just I haven't really found one that has given like me significant. I haven't liked anything significantly that's been abstract. I think so too. So like Shasta, what about doing it up here, like the Kevin with the camera, like up here? And then this one is like, you know, maybe a little bit more lower. Or we keep this high. So maybe it's like this. We keep this high and we go this one. Okay, wait, hold on. So, like if we're talking about placement on the wall, right? And then Kevin like up here. What do we think about that, everybody? I do believe abstract, a lot of abstract artists have an intent. I do completely agree with that, Sean. I do think a lot of what we see online, though, at least in social media with regards to it, it lacks intent. Yeah. So should I turn the heads more? Like, okay, wait, hold on. Let's, like that. God damn, why am I, why is this not moving? Okay, there we go. Like where their heads are turned more like this. Does that work better? Everywhere you go. Very, very much. Sean, that's why I think, see, that's why I think the people who lack intent don't want to do that, right? Who don't like put in the legwork to understanding color, who don't you know, like they just think putting 3 colors and putting a gradient in between them, you know, or throwing paint on a canvas, right, is all it is. I kind of like this. I kind of like this placement a lot. Anyone else have any opinions on this placement? So if you think about, right? So these 3 looking down, angled towards kind of the ass and the hand, and then Kevin up above them to the left, with the camera and eyes kind of locked in with them, pointing towards it as well. Yep, Amanda. Well, it's also the people who kind of like, you know, or who kind of give up because thinking like this is why I advocate or fight against people talking about muddy colors, because I don't believe in muddy colors. I don't. As a concept, I don't accept the existence of muddy colors. Can somebody do me a favor? Can somebody screenshot these three together and post it in the Discord just in general or something? Just like New Zealand, Omizu. Yeah, Sean, I agree. Mudbutt. Well, I'm going to eat so much split pea soup after this that I am going to have mudbutt. Okay. So I think we've officially decided on a triptych. A triptych. Or a dick trip. Alright. So this is going to be a triptych, everybody. And the second one is the next painting we're doing. Yeah, well, so Amanda, I put the rest of the clearance ham and I made split pea soup, and I had to make a bunch of it because I had more clearance ham left than I originally thought. So there's like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 pounds of ham in this, of clearance ham in this split pea soup. It's a lot of, it's a big pot of it. I'm going to try and freeze some of it too. For rainy day clearance ham and split pea soup. Thank you, Mud. Is there anything else we want to add to this? I can define the shadow and maybe change the light placement to add to the shadows in the upper right. But is there any items, like I'm talking about adding a cloak over the top left mask, which I'm not going to do now because I need to figure out how I'm going to do that a little bit. But is there anything else that we might want to add? I think the negative space, like the shadow works for the negative space in the upper right. I could also for the we gotta change the mask or the face of the drama mask. Yeah, I don't think so either. But we are gonna change the face or the mask of the drama mask is changing to something else. But that one's just going to be floating in air. And then I got to think about what I'm going to use to show a camera effectively for the Kevin painting. Everywhere you look, everywhere you so hard. Have you, Sean? Interesting. Okay. I think we figured it out a lot. I think we figured it out, though. That would be cool, Amanda. I was thinking of like the old like photography things where they had to go under like where they had to go under a piece of cloth, right? So you could have like Kevin's hand underneath the cloth, right? But that would just imply photos. But photos or a video camera are fine either way, right? Like I think as long as it's apparent that he's like doing something to record this, right? I always view it as people who don't understand how to mix colors properly, Sean, where it's like they can't help but like feel like they're not hitting the colors because they don't know how they mix. An old camcorder could be really cool too, like a handheld camcorder. Because I was also thinking I could do something with a tripod, but then again, like you don't necessarily need to do that. But then I would need to figure out how to get like a red light, like it's recording, right? Or I could probably do that by imagination, right? Doing like the red light like it's on. I do like the how diagonal this is. Now, how fast will this this triptych sell, or this dick trip sell at an art festival, everybody? Or should I not bring this to a family-oriented art fair? Yeah. Well, see, that's like it does, you know, right? I mean, I don't even, you know, I don't need it to work. I just, you know, as a prop, it'd be great. So you're saying as I shouldn't bring this dick trip to the art fairs I'm going to? Fine, I'll just bring the comedian. I'll bring the Kevin with the Four Locos and pill bottles, accompanied by an artist statement. True. Am I painting too many stuff that I can't take to an art fair? Or should it be like, hey, should I have like the you know, like an old video rental stores where they had the pornography room? In my tent, should I have the room of my perverted stuff? I don't even know, Sean, but a lot of people avoid it. Oh, gotcha. Well, if you're willing to lend it or let me have it, I'll pay for shipping, Amanda. Everywhere you go, it's so hard. What is my artist statement at this point? Well, thank you, Amanda. Should I just DM you like my address and then we can figure out shipping? Thank you. I appreciate that. That's really kind of you. I should bring it all. So Richard, you're not in favor of the video rental porno room in my art tent? That's the thing. I was like, you know, every art fair I've been to, Richardson, you've been to the one by you recently. You see a lot of similar shit at art fairs. So it might benefit me just to be all fucking wacko out there. You love that idea? I think that would be kind of funny. That's true. You know what? Because that's the thing, right? If people go to see that booth at like the stuff I'm doing and then they go to it, you know that they have more people I'd want to talk to. Obviously, Shasta, yeah. But you know, I got these other paintings like am I gonna bring the comedian to my art fairs? I think I should. 3 10-foot walls, 10 foot by 10 foot walls. So, Sean, like art fairs, I see a lot of like, frankly, I see a lot of bad photography. I see a lot of like acrylic, semi-abstract, expressive stuff. The frankly, a lot of low-skilled paintings. And like, you know, you'll see like 3 booths, Sean, of people doing like the same photo references of sunsets that are over, like the colors oversaturated, right? You'll see a lot of that shit. And this is me being a bit of a dick, but just a lot of uninspired stuff. Put the props in there. That's not a bad idea. That's the thing, right? Do I, like, I'm not there to trick anybody. I'm just curious if I'd get in trouble. It's not like I'm painting, but they allow nude figures too. And usually art crowds are more understanding of that shit. Yeah, like the Impasto lands, yeah. But they're all from photos, Sean. You know what I'm also doing, everybody? So you know I've been making the hands. I want to make, you know, I just bought more stuff to make a mold of another hand. Yeah, that's the thing, Mud. Nothing is, like, this has an ass in it, right? But, like, you know, this last painting, but it's not vulgar. Like, I guess the meaning of it's, like, pretty dark, but it's not like, you know, I'm not drawing people having sex or something like that. Yeah, that's a good point. I do, yeah, like Jembry said, I like the idea of having, like, my porno room, though. Yeah, I like that, Sean. I just like a well-painted still life that's done with care. I just, at the art fairs I've been to recently, I just have not seen it. Yeah, I bet you that's, like, all you see. Well, that's why I don't, like, it's part of the reason why I also hate painting from photographs so much. Like, the photographs you see online of references are just, like, chock full of that kind of garbage, right? Like, of, like, the similar things, and, you know, it's stuff also other people have painted, too. I don't want to run into those issues. And when doing a still life is just, you know, frankly, it's not as much, it's about the same time as trying to find a suitable reference online. I agree, Shasta. I am now more brazenly into that. Oh, sorry, get into that. I'm making more hands from plaster, or, like, you know, like the mold stuff. But I want to do a painting with just a bunch of my hand molds in different ways. So I'm thinking about what my next pose is for my hands. I have a couple ideas, but right now I just have the middle finger and the cigarette smoking one. I do need to do one that's just pointing. I do need to do one that's just, like, grabbing. Problem is that it's about, like, it's not a problem, but it's like each one costs me kind of like $25 to $30. It's hard, like, the molding material is not cheap. I also want to do a bunch of left feet. Anywho. You're right. Well, that sucks, Amanda. One time I'm okay with... Oh, wait, yeah. I never tried a color match either way. I think there are times where getting an exact color is pretty useful. That's if you're viewing from life. Never from a photo, though, Sean. From life, I think there are times where it is valuable. Like I said. Just re-saying it right now. I think there are times and places for stuff from life to hit it exactly. But I don't want to forget this one, is I also, my impression matters more. Yeah. But see, I think it's more valuable to do some variations of color within that. Not just like a flat violet, but, like, you know, violet into blues into greens, or, you know, stuff like that. Okay. All right, well, I think that's going to do it. Thank you for the help, everybody. I hope you enjoy these prop streams. I think it's kind of an interesting, different thing to do. I do, like I said, I do really appreciate your input on this stuff. And I think we have a much more interesting, or we have an interesting piece. you know, a three penis, wait, no, not three penises, a dick trip of paintings. Where I can't find my mouse. So, should we find somebody to raid? We're gonna end it here. When do we? Probably gonna start this on Thursday. That's right. I want to make like 3 left feet, Shasta, just to randomly put in paintings. So I can do third leg jokes and then just like the 2 left feet thing. Blue Skittles on. Amy Jo still on. Let's just rate Amy. I have never rated Amy before. Or I haven't rated Pinion in a while. Amy's gaming. Do you want to rate Amy or Pinion? Amy or Pinion, everybody. Alright, we have no opinion here. Let's rate Pinion. I mean, we have this reference we created, right? Here, let me post my photos online on Discord. Thank you for Mud, thank you for taking the screenshot. Opinion. They'll probably love sharing the those references on their stream. All right, we'll just rate Pinion. I haven't rated Pinion in a while, anyways. So, all right, everybody. And they're doing art stuff too, so generally like to keep it in art with art. Okay, Greenbag, I'll see you in hell, you son of a bitch. Thank you everybody for hanging out. The pleasure is all mine. Till next time, we'll start this the second of the triptychs and the trip penises. Amanda, I'm gonna message you if you're still there. Thank you again for that. If anybody needs anything, just shoot me a message on Discord. Yeah. And don't forget to buy your plane tickets to all the art fairs I'm going to, okay? Even though I haven't committed to all of them yet. Okay, buy your plane tickets now. All right, attendance is mandatory. Yeah, I should put them up in Discord. The problem is I won't hear about one till April, and that's the one I'm going to definitively accept if I get into. So, yeah. And then I'll dox you at the same time, Yabri. All right, everybody. We'll see everybody soon. Thank you again. Till next time.